This is another sign of the times, an analysis, and a commentary. North Korea's failed rocket launch. The United States will not go forward with planned food aid to North Korea, the White House says, after the impoverished nation's unsuccessful launch of a long-range missile which Washington had warned would have consequences. Their efforts to launch a missile clearly demonstrates that they could not be trusted to keep their commitments. White House National Security Council spokesman Ben Rhodes told reporters traveling with President Barack Obama to Florida, "Therefore, we are not going forward with an agreement to provide them with any assistance," he said, warning that North Korea faced additional sanctions if it defied the international community again by taking further provocative steps. North Korea said the missile launch had failed. North Korea may also be preparing another nuclear weapons test. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Susan Rice said that the Security Council deplored North Korea's failed bid to launch a long-range rocket, but said it would continue talks on an appropriate response to the actions of the state. Members of the Security Council deplored this launch, which is in violation of Security Council resolutions, Rice told reporters, summarizing discussions among the 15-nation panel on Friday morning. She is president of the council this month. Washington had offered in February to consider providing North Korea with nutritional aid in return for its suspension of uranium enrichment activities and other movement toward the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, but it had repeatedly cautioned that the test of the long-range missile would jeopardize food aid, and said it would begin working on additional steps with other world powers to dissuade North Korea from further acts of provocation. North Korea, embarrassed by the failure of the much-hyped rocket launch, is now widely believed to be weighing undertaking its third nuclear test in order to show its military strength. The United States had already suspended the plan to deliver 240,000 metric tons of assistance aimed at children and pregnant women as North Korea prepared what the regime called an unsuccessful bid to put a satellite in orbit. Under the February 29th deal aimed at easing long-standing tensions, the United States agreed to deliver aid under supervision, and North Korea had said it would freeze its nuclear and missile tests. Asked if the food aid was off indefinitely, State Department spokesman Mark Toner said that the United States no longer can frankly trust the North Koreans that this will end up in appropriate hands. Hundreds of thousands of North Koreans are believed to have died in a famine in the 1990s. United Nations agencies estimated in November, after a visit to the North, that 3 million people would need food aid in 2012. Mercy Corps, one of 5 U.S. non-governmental groups that would have delivered the aid, said the assistance would have reached more than 2 million North Korean children and tens of thousands of pregnant women. David Austin, the North Korea Program Director for Mercy Corps, said that the United States for generations had donated food to the needy, regardless of political considerations. It is a shift to using food as a policy tool, and it's one that we have a lot of concern about. We think it's become a distraction because it removes the focus from people who are in need and people whom we can save. Austin visited North Korea in March and said he spoke to an administrator of an orphanage who told him that children were receiving 60% of normal daily rations and had not had any protein for 2 months. Food delivery would have come in bags emblazoned with the American flag and a message, "Free gift of the American people," he said. This could have been one of the only opportunities we have to create a connection between the people of North Korea and the people of the United States, and a connection around saving the lives of children is a great way to engage, Austin said. North Korea is estimated by some experts to spend 1/4 of its budget on its military. In March 2009, the regime abruptly kicked out U.S. aid groups who left behind some 20,000 metric tons of food from a previous deal. Anyway, this too is another sign of the end of times as we know them, transition days, which is a time of extraordinary happenings, changes, and events. It's also about what kind of world are we leaving to the future generations, and that should be a very important question to ask. Mark chapter 13, verse 7. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. 8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows. Yes, it's time for prophecy to be fulfilled. Everything is connected, and everything is numbered. It's also called fate or destiny, and all these are more signs.